in the vast and labyrinthine realm of contemporary hip-hop, where the shifting sands of fame and fortune are as fickle as a leaf caught in a tempestuous gale, there emerges a colossus of unparalleled dominion, Drake.
And I think, Drake puts out so much music. Drake catalog is streamed better than an entire decade of artists. Everybody in the 70s. Which, that's even hard to believe, but damn. If that's the case, and we're now in this era where catalogs matter so much, obviously people who have these big publishing deals or publishing incentives, Drake is wielding an enormous power. I could imagine, because he's the king of streaming, if maybe UMG, the publishing side, feels that Drake is so much bigger than everybody else that they're like, hey, listen, we'll do a deal that's maybe similar, tantamount to what we did with Michael Jackson back in the day. Where they might be like, hey, if we could get some of your publishing, we might give you some ownership of some of these guys' catalogs. And that is wherein lies the fear about Drake's dominance, because his dominance is so vast that maybe these labels are desperate to contain or have a part of it, that they're willing to allow Drake to be literally a plantation owner for other artists and their plight and their catalogs or their whatever. And that's the theory that Joe has been working on and kind of asking about. And Larry kind of said, well, he is that big, but he stopped short of saying, well, Drake is in anything that would resemble him having ownership of other people's catalogs or their art through the leverage that his own art provided, that he could have asked the labels or whatever to do with. Again, from what I know is that Drake, he's in an unprecedented space in music, but it's the same space that gets him to get $400 million, supposedly, that he was going to work off in 3 years or 4 years. I forgot what it was. But the deal that Drake has, he's supposed to collect $400 million in a few years, and then he's going to re-up. And the reason why he's getting these massive deals is because they got to give him an exorbitant amount of lump sum to keep him. Not that I think he'll ever go independent, but they want to keep him in that system because his old music is making money. His current music, everything with Drake is making money, which is, you can't knock it. You can't knock it, man. So it's a decent theory, but I do believe that if Drake owned a lot of these guys' catalog or publishing, what most likely you'd have heard these artists say it. Now, I did see someone on Joe's podcast say that Drake tried to buy Pharrell's either masters or publishing, but something that had to do with his IP. And yeah, I definitely believe that Drake is in the business of trying to purchase, he bought all them chains, and I know it's only a couple $1 million, even though it's a lot of money, but still, I think Drake is trying to play Monopoly in the music game, and artists probably do see that. Now, has he successfully done it yet? We don't know, but I do think he's trying to play Monopoly in the music game for sure. Now, also, here's the thing, too, if we're thinking about just music. Because Drake's in this interesting position, if I'm Drake, I could buy random rappers' catalog or publishing, and I'll just do a song with them and revive their entire catalog, because anything I touch, everybody run to. So Drake is in this interesting position, and we're going to see what kind of comes out of it, because, we haven't got any confirmation about some of the things that he's been accused of. But I definitely think he's playing Monopoly or attempting to play monopoly when it comes to publishing. Catalog, and I think, Drake puts out so much music. Drake catalog is streaming better than an entire...
The very mention of his name sends ripples through the industry, an undeniable force that DJ Akademiks, in his ever insightful commentary, could not help but dissect with the precision of a linguistic scalpel. DJ Akademiks, ever the harbinger of industry truth, has illuminated a truth that many whisper in hushed tones but dare not vocalize. Drake's stratospheric rise in the streaming age has redefined the metrics of success. His catalog, a veritable cornucopia of hits and chart toppers, streams at a rate that would make even the most venerable artists of bygone eras tremble in their loafers. The magnitude of his influence is so vast that it has forced the hand of the record labels, who now find themselves in a precarious position, teetering on the brink of irrelevance without his golden touch. Drake, in this regard, is not merely an artist, he is an institution, a deity in the pantheon of modern music, whose every release is akin to the manna from heaven for a ravenous public. The power he wields over the industry is akin to that of a plantation owner of yore, his influence extending far beyond his own discography into the very lifeblood of other artists' catalogs. This, as Akademiks postulates, has made the record labels all the more desperate to maintain their grip on the titan that is Drake, lest he slip through their fingers and render them obsolete. The notion that Drake might be angling to become a modern-day baron, acquiring the rights to other artists' works as one might amass properties in a game of Monopoly, is not far-fetched. Indeed, as Akademiks muses, there is a certain fear that the labels, in their desperation to keep Drake within their fold, may very well offer him ownership stakes in the catalogs of lesser artists, an unholy union where the lines between creator and owner become irreparably blurred. And herein lies the crux of the matter. Drake's unparalleled leverage in the industry places him in a position where he could, if he so desired, wield the power to revive entire careers with a mere feature. Such is the gravitational pull of his brand that any artist fortunate enough to be graced by his presence would see their catalog rejuvenated, their streams revitalized. This, of course, would make the acquisition of their publishing rights all the more lucrative for Drake, as it would allow him to manipulate the market in ways that no other artist before him has ever dared to. Yet, as Akademiks astutely notes, despite the whispers and the rumors, there has been little in the way of concrete evidence to suggest that Drake has fully embarked on this path of monopolistic acquisition. It is, at this juncture, more of a tantalizing possibility than a confirmed reality. But the mere fact that such a possibility exists speaks volumes about the power dynamics at play in the modern music industry. Drake's influence is such that even the specter of him acquiring the publishing rights of other artists sends shivers down the spines of those in the industry. And why not? In an era where streaming is king and catalog is queen, the ability to control the output of other artists is nothing short of a coup. The record labels, long accustomed to being the puppet masters, now find themselves in the unenviable position of having to appease the very artists they once sought to control. But let us not forget, as Akademiks points out, that Drake is not merely a product of his own ambition. He is also a product of the system that has elevated him to his current status, a system that rewards those who can navigate its treacherous waters with the dexterity of a seasoned mariner. The record labels, in their quest to maintain their relevance, have inadvertently created a monster, one that now threatens to devour them whole. And so, we find ourselves at a crossroads where the future of the music industry hangs in the balance. Will Drake continue his ascent, amassing catalogs and publishing rights like a modern-day mogul? Or will the record labels find a way to rein him in, to maintain their control over the artists who have made them what they are? The answer, as Akademiks so eloquently suggests, lies in the balance of power, a balance that is rapidly shifting in favor of the artists. In the end, what we are witnessing is nothing short of a seismic shift in the music industry, where the old guard is being challenged by a new breed of artist, one that is not content to simply play by the rules, but instead seeks to rewrite them entirely. And at the forefront of this revolution is Drake, the artist who has become synonymous with success, the standard-bearer for a new era of music. But as Akademiks wisely cautions, with great power comes great responsibility. Drake's actions in the coming years will not only shape his own legacy but will also set the tone for the industry as a whole. Will he use his influence to uplift other artists, to create a more equitable and just music industry? Or will he succumb to the temptations of power, becoming the very thing he once sought to transcend? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the music industry will never be the same again. And for that, we have Drake and the insightful commentary of DJ Akademiks to thank.